What if I told you that you don't need those precious, invaluable, yet oftentimes restricting linked item sockets? Yes, the very same that typically uplift builds from the mundane coils of mortality to the realms of mad gods, the likes of which only exiles could dream of, let alone perceive. How is this possible, one might ask? Well, you see, there is an immeasurable stockpile of aura-related buffs within the world of Rayclast. These range from the everyday skill gems one can obtain from the corpses of enemies, chests, barrels, etc., to the more obscure or even gate-kept traits such as the ascendancies specific to each character. The biggest boon to said auras is the fact that within the effective radius of said ability, typically they affect every single ally. Minions made by skill gems, items, etc. Yeah. NPCs joining your excursions. The rarer to obtain party members and friends? Absolutely. So take that in mind and compare it to the more in-game oriented RNG item sockets, and it's a night and day in how accessible auras are. You take one aura and apply it to essentially 5 or more minion skill gems, plus the player themselves. This adds survivability, damage, utility, and so much more. Where am I going with this? Well, I've been theory crafting and playtesting a party-oriented aura minion build that I have dubbed Exodia Orion. The concept utilizes class ascendancies combined with auras and minions to capitalize on the extensive ally-affecting buffs available to the players. A maximum of 6 exiles can play the game together, and there are 5 ascendancies which have ally-affecting buffs. Though some are more impactful than others, I feel the potential differences in playstyles could make things interesting while still slotting them into the Exodia archetype. Said Exodia archetype essentially means that the individual pieces are nowhere near as strong as the cumulative embodiment, because every body on board from minions to exiles ramps up the efficiency of each aura, and each aura is affecting that many more entities in its radius. So instead of relying on 4 or more linked sockets to power up one specific minion skill gem, the party as a whole is instead empowering each of their minion skill gems with every aura. 6 exiles, running 6 raised zombies, 6 raised specters, 6 carrion golems, 6 animate guardian, and sure, why not 6 summon skeletons and or summon raging spirits? There are a few specific minions certain classes can opt to take, and I encourage it, but the previously mentioned ones are the staple almost everyone will run. This means that a party could easily obtain nearly 20 auras, affecting 30 plus skill gems. One aura essentially linked to 30 sockets, 20 times over. I don't think anything else in the game quite compares to this. And I've played it to a degree. The farthest I've managed to keep a party going is about Act 7, and the results? Well, 3 total members, and it's devastating and hilarious. Bosses are typically a breeze, where the minions are like a blender of slaps, assaulting the designated victim, while the exiles focus on upkeep and dodging. Clearing maps isn't the fastest due to needing to travel as a tight-knit group, but I feel that the satisfaction of the build coming to fruition, as well as the potential item drops, will reward the party members for their efforts. The damage output and survivability feel very on par from my experiments, but I yearn to see what a full party of 6 could be like, to experience Path of Exile's potential madness at its most glorious. So, I come to you, the viewer, the passerby, one of many who decided to let their curiosity lead them this far, and I implore you to join me in this conquest of Rayclast and the Atlas. I literally cannot accomplish this on my own. I am in dire need of a group of like-minded, minion-adoring individuals who are more than willing to take up the summoner mantle together, to traverse the realms like a dedicated Dungeons & Dragons ensemble. I will provide my theory-crafted builds for each character publicly, and update them as things develop. Playing out the build with a full party will likely bring things to light that are needed, but I have high hopes for the general idea and encourage people to try it out with their friends if you're not someone that manages to get in with my potential group. For the sake of the video, I'll leave the details of how and where to contact me in the description below, as well as the build links, time frames, etc. I very much appreciate you watching this, and I wish all of you well. Take care, and sniffulates.